Yeah, I mean, obviously, hats off to Notre Dame, too. That was an unbelievable college football game. Two heavyweight teams throwing punches back and forth at each other from start to finish, all the way down to the wire. Couldn't be more proud of our guys. I don't know that that thing went to script in any way, shape, or form to how you would script a win on the road, and we just battled. We battled through a block punt. We battled through some procedure penalties. We battled through, some coverage busts that created some open explosives for them. And we just kept fighting, and we kept fighting, and ultimately made the play we needed to make to win the football game on the road. And so hopefully you guys won't have to ask me any more questions about whether or not Marcel can throw. That's what I really hope comes out of this win. So from there, I'll open it up to questions.
Just what was going through your mind on the last play, and did you guys get to change the play call since they called the timeout on that 4th and goal?
Yeah, we went to we had a similar play call before the timeout. We changed the formation presentation of it and ran a very similar play to what we were going to call before the timeout. We wanted to honestly have something where Nate was running on the side because we kind of thought it was going to be really hard to get it to Mario or KC. They had been kind of bracketing them the two previous plays, and so we felt like that would give us an option on the sideline if we needed it, and we did, and Marcel gave him a ball that he could go up and catch, and then he made a heck of a play.
Mike, if you could just maybe further expound on the just the resiliency of your team, because you talked about some of it already, but you had what looked like a kickoff return that could have given you the lead and all the things, and still able to, and then the two penalties late and still able to overcome all that.
Yeah, I think when you want to become a championship level program, and we're not there yet, we have a lot of work to do to become that. There's going to be moments like this, though, that are going to help springboard it, right? Moments where your guys just find a way to compete and battle through everything that's happening in a game and find a way to come out victorious, right? And it's been well documented how long it's been since this program has gone on the road and beat a really good team. For us to do that on the road in South Bend at night against a team that was obviously desperate to save their season tonight, I just think it's the step that we had to take to move forward. Right, and that's all we did. We took one step forward tonight, and now we got to rest and we got to get through the bye week, and we got to get a lot better as we head into SEC play with all of our goals in front of us.
Mike, when you envisioned that step, how different did it look than what actually happened tonight in terms of just how the game went?
No, I think sometimes it has to happen that way. I think sometimes it's going to be ugly. Sometimes it's going to be a game like that where defensively maybe we're not playing as great as we wanted to, and special teams we're not playing as great as we want to, and the offense just goes out and carries the show for a while, and then the defense makes a couple stops to get us back in it and get us a little bit of rhythm. And I think that's the door we had to kick down. I don't think that we were going to just magically become a team that was going to go and everything was going to go smooth. We had to kick this door down, and we did that tonight.
Mike, could you talk a little bit about Marcel's play, just in particular, and his poise on that last drive?
Yeah, I mean, it's the third time in a row. So if you now go through this, right, that's Auburn, that's the bowl game, and that's this game. It's the third time in a row that he led us on a game-winning drive. And I said that all offseason, that was a big piece of it for him, was in those moments he has been really good. And it got overshadowed last year, obviously, because we lost those two games. But he has been really good in those moments, and so we had a lot of confidence in him tonight.
Quick injury update on the chair.
The chair, I don't know what happened to the chair, but maybe it probably didn't survive would be my guess while you're asking.
You talk about his ability to overcome, but can you talk about his mental fortitude, his resolve, his leadership? You talked about that all offseason. Just what about him has allowed him to be so calm and cool in these moments?
Yeah, I just think it's who he is. I think he put in the work that he needed to put in this offseason to feel really confident. And so he feels really confident because the game has slowed down a little bit. And again, there's still a lot we got to fix. Don't take this as mass statements. But I think the game has slowed down, and now he is very confident in where he's going with the football. Even down to that last play, that's a play that we rep every week. It's a play that we have not run yet this year. It's a play for that moment. And he knew 1, 2, bang, and you know what I mean? And those are the things that you see him do that we just didn't get last year consistently. And that was the step we kept talking about this offseason that we felt like he had made. Obviously, in this environment tonight, he really showed it.
Mike, did you have a joke that you didn't want to hear any more questions about whether or not you could throw or not?
what has made you so confident in him through everything?
Yeah, just being around him every day, and I think again, I just that narrative was never right. Like that narrative was one of the most unfair narratives that had ever been created. The kid was a top 10 returning QBR kid. He completed over 60% of his passes. His touchdown to interception rate was elite. But for some reason, because he came in the LSU game and that was what everyone saw, the story just became he can't throw because we didn't throw him because we didn't need to, right? And I just it was one of the more unfair stories that was ever written. And is he perfect throwing the ball? No. Like he still missed a couple throws tonight. I'm sure he wishes he had back, and that's still a continued development for a young quarterback. But I just think he is a really, really talented player, and we're glad we got him.
First quarter.
What did you learn about your team, especially after Bryce Anderson's injury? What did you tell them, and how is Bryce to get him back on track?
Yeah, still praying for Bryce. I think that at this point all signs are positive. I don't think we haven't done every diagnostic testing, but so far every test that we've run through has come back positive, and so we'll continue to pray that comes to a positive resolution, and we're still far away. I told him what I think any coach would tell him, like, your brother just went down, you need to step up and you need to win this for him, and I know that to some degree maybe galvanized us.
How good was Casey and Mario in getting Marcel into that rhythm? It seemed like maybe first two passes were a little inaccurate, but they were able to kind of get him into the game.
Yeah, I mean, the catch KC made before the long one, right? So he went really high on their sideline early in the game and came down with a ball that was one of the more impressive catches of the evening, and then he went up and made the challenge catch on the deep throw. I think those two plays allowed Marcel to kind of like take a breath and kind of regroup, and I think that's kind of where it came from.
Forgive me if this seems like a dumb question, because so many things happen.
That's a great preface, OB.
But what I want to ask you this is, early in the game, they had scored on block punt, and then got the ball. They had like I think the second or third and one, and you called a timeout. Used a timeout that early, and then y'all got the stop right then.
Yeah.
What, did you just feel like, for some reason, why did it feel like a timeout needed to be called?
Because we had 10 guys on the field.
Oh, that's all it was.
Yeah, and we didn't think we'd be able to stop them with 10, so we wanted to bang a timeout and get that 11th guy out there, and that was I thought that was a critical factor in how that played. That was not a stupid question. That was actually a good question. Yeah, no, we got jobbled up with the substitution, and so we saw it, and before they snapped it, we wanted to get that squared away.
You guys had a lot of things go wrong in that first quarter. Just where did you feel like you guys finally settled in that allowed y'all to come back, and you had the lead at halftime? What do you feel like allowed y'all to settle in finally?
Yeah, I just think we kept making plays. I don't know, I don't know that we ever felt like we weren't playing well on offense. I think, you had the special teams block, and then they hit a couple runs, and then we got the run game situated. Then they hit the pass down the. It just seemed like. It seemed like the offense was in rhythm and the special teams and defense had to figure it out. That's kind of what it seemed like. And so I don't think there was ever a lack of confidence. The offensive guys were up and down the sideline all game. We got you, just keep going. Like, we got you, we're going to win this game. And I thought that was a really, really good sign for where we were just mentally as we were going through it.
Mike, I know, thank you. I know you guys have not beaten a ranked opponent on the road since 2014. And it's a long season, but what can a win like this do just to kind of inspire confidence for when you get in future moments like this?
Yeah, I think it shows us that we can do it, right? And that's a hurdle. You have to get over that hurdle so that, when you get into the fourth quarter of a close game on the road in a tough environment, like, you have to believe that you can win until you actually come away with that, and these kids, the ones who have been part of Texas A&M football, if you go back to, 23 at Tennessee, at Ole Miss, if you go to last year at Auburn, and they've suffered a lot down the stretch, and for them to finally break through, I think will give them confidence moving forward, and then hopefully what they'll take from the game is if they find a way to execute better, they can be something really special.
I know you have a lot of respect for their secondary. What allowed you, really from the start to finish, your receivers to find holes? Even when Marcel was struggling early, they were open.
Yeah, we felt like we would win. We felt like we would win outside. We went into the game believing we would win outside, and I think we did.
Mike, what does this win mean for you personally?
I'm just really happy for our guys. I don't think about myself at all, really, to be honest with you. I think about our guys. I think about everything that they put into this thing. I think about how much they put into this game, and for them to be victorious tonight and get to enjoy that and enjoy moving this program in the right direction for everything that they do, I think is just awesome.
So there was a pregame scuffle, and obviously losing to them last year. How much of a revenge factor was at play this week, and then how much do you feel like that motivated you guys at the beginning of the game?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it was an interesting week. The narratives, the storylines, it was an interesting week. I don't think pregame was any different than the way the week was. And truthfully, that's how it should have been. Until we get on this stage and win, that should be the narrative. We just talked to the guys all week, talked to them about the last 24 hours, that if you want to earn respect in this game, you got an opportunity to go do it. And ultimately, you're going to have to do it. And I think they did that a little bit tonight.
Anything else for Coach?
Good. Thank you, guys.